Hi everyone, I'm Bree the Plant Lady. I've been very impatiently waiting for the rain to stop just for a moment so I could run outside and get these big root pouches replanted. It's already starting to sprinkle, so I'm gonna get right to it. Stay tuned for my progress.
I'm top dressing the 100-gallon root pouches with another few inches of soil cube before I plant my summer vegetables, including basil, tomatoes, and squash.
Here is a 7-gallon grow bag, and this is planted with 1 tomato right here, and the rest are potato starts, just potatoes that started growing on my counter. And when I planted this, I purposefully left it a little bit low. I left the soil level low so that as they grew, I could come in and top dress and fill it up higher, which is going to increase the productivity of the potatoes. So that's what I'm gonna do now.
Adding compost to the fabric bag will increase potato production.
So you can see here how I've really raised that compost level and buried the stems a bit. And though they would benefit a lot from even going into a bigger pot, for this season, I'm gonna leave them in this bag, and I'm very excited to see what I end up harvesting from it. So you can easily grow potatoes and tomatoes together in a 7-gallon fabric grow bag. I'm anxious to get this workspace cleaned up. It's driving me completely bonkers. So my next step is to get some of my ornamental planters potted for the summer, and I'm going to do these as foodscapes. I'm going to include ornamentals like coleus and plectranthus and different things like that, along with tomatoes primarily and some basil. That way they're easy to access and harvest together.
I've learned over the years to use straight soil cube compost instead of potting soil because it retains more moisture and I don't have to water as much. Once your pots are planted, simply place them in your garden. I recommend putting them together in an area with easy access to water. That way, maintaining them through the heat of the summer won't feel like a chore.
What a difference working in the garden can do. Not only do I feel great, but I've gotten so much accomplished. This space, I didn't even take before pictures because it was so insane looking. I feel like it's totally wrangled. I mowed the daikon radish down, and I'm hoping that that will really prevent the nematodes from getting into these tomatoes and cucumbers. And you can see what it looks like when you mow. This is arugula and radish and a whole bunch of different things just mowed. I have not planted this berm yet. We got the nest moved in place, and I just think the fire pit area suddenly makes sense. We covered the fire pit with this big piece of granite because it's too hot to have fires at this time of year. So it's a cool place to be able to put out some succulents. Those are some mangaves. And then that whole border, I trimmed the figs way back, and I did some succulents and some food crops in grow bags. Those are all Gardenuity grow bags. So I'm feeling a little bit better about having Growing a Greener World come visit next week because I would have been really embarrassed for them to have filmed what this did look like. Got this all cleaned up and organized and mulched. Mulch really makes the biggest difference in the world. So you can see that's the bottle wall that I did over the weekend. And I've rearranged the pots and I've replanted the 100-gallon root pouches. So they have cucumbers and tomatoes and some marigolds. And I think this is great. And it's so much more open than it was. Final step for getting these tomato and cucumber pots ready for the growing season is to mulch them. And mulching is really important because tomatoes are very susceptible to soil-borne diseases. Even though these are planted in straight soil cube, I don't want to risk them getting anything. So I'm just using some triple shred hardwood mulch, a light top dressing, really like maybe a ½ inch, and that will really help with a whole slew of issues, and it also makes everything look a lot neater and tidier. And these are all Root Maker pots. It's a brand that I've had a lot of success growing tomatoes in. This will be the first time I've ever grown them here. This was a big part of my motivation for taking out those raised beds so that I would have what I call this work zone. And I'm thrilled that I finally have gotten this accomplished.
Stay tuned for updates and subscribe to Breathe the Plant Lady. Thanks for watching.